This is crazy. It's like a whole new Jacksonville. It's kind of messing me up.
What if I told you Jacksonville isn't becoming something? It's already something. For years, Jacksonville carried the nickname that people just kind of brushed off. The bold new city of the South. It sounded more like a slogan than actual reality, but not anymore. What we're watching right now is the city in the middle of real transformation. We're talking about real investment, real development, real timelines. And today, we're going to talk about what's coming to Jax in 2026 and beyond. The projects that are shaping the skylines, the riverfront, and the future of the city. And let's be clear, we're breaking down what's been completed since our video last year, updates on projects from our last year's video, and what's officially making a move forward next. Because Jacksonville doesn't change overnight. It changes strategically. And if you're thinking about living here, investing here, or relocating to Jacksonville, you need to understand where the city is going, not where it's been. So whether you're new to Jacksonville or you've lived in Jacksonville your entire life, and you're saying, okay, I can finally see it now, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Jacksonville is earning the title, the bold new city of the South. Let's get to it. Vision sounds good, but vision doesn't matter unless people actually move in, because downtown doesn't just run on vibes, they run on people. Population is the fuel, and guess what? No people, no retail. No density, no nightlife, no rooftops, no rhythm, and no Instagram captions don't count as residents. Now, here's what most people are missing. Downtown Jacksonville has been growing. It was dead before, but since 2020, downtown population is up 31%. Now, that's real progress, not press release headlines. Right now, downtown sits around 8,941 residents. For years, the city has a goal of about 10,000 downtown residents, and we're basically standing at that doorstep. That's why conversation has shifted, right? Developers aren't thinking small anymore. The new target, 20,000 residents within the next 5 to 10 years. That will nearly double the population, and yes, that changes everything. And let's keep it honest real quick. Yes, residential growth has happened. Yes, people are living downtown, but 7 days a week type energy here? The consistent retail buzz, the nightlife that disappears after an event, that part hasn't really shown up yet. Now, downtown still feels active in pockets, busy on event days, and quiet when your Uber driver says, "Are you sure this is the right drop-off?" And that's the gap Jacksonville is working close on, right? Like, because hitting a population number isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. The real question is, what needs to happen next for downtown to actually feel alive? That's where riverfront parks, housing pipelines, mixed-use development, and lifestyle infrastructure all collude, right? Population is step one. What comes after? That's where Jacksonville's future gets decided. Now, quick note, before we kind of move on. If you're watching this video and you're thinking about moving to Jacksonville, Florida, my name is Dr. Adrian A. Gentry, aka Dr. Real Estate Jax. My team specializes in helping people move to Jacksonville, buy, sell, all over the Northeast Florida area. And you'll find our contact information in the description. Now, let's talk about where the city is headed. Population growth tells us who's coming, but the real question is, where are they actually going to live? Because people don't live in renderings. They don't live in those beautiful PowerPoints that you guys like to put together to tout. And they definitely don't move downtown on hope. Growth happens in the housing, and not one miracle project is supposed to save entire downtown, kind of like the Marvel movies. What's happening downtown, Jacksonville is having that layered growth thing happen right now. We're talking about big anchored projects supported by Infill lots, the smaller ones, stacking on those rooftops across both North and the South Bank. That's how real downtown grows. Slow, but strategic. It's kind of on purpose. Now let's start with one of the biggest drivers in the room, Pearl Square, also known as Gateway Jax. And no, it's not just some apartments, right? This is a district complete reset. In one concentrated area, you're getting a 268 unit, 7-story multifamily buildings, 15-story apartment tower, a 480 square parking garage tied to the former Ambassador Hotel, a long awaited 32,000 square foot Publix grocery store, downtown Jacksonville, and nearly 39,000 100,000 square feet of just retail. And yes, the grocery store matters because nothing kills downtown living faster than realizing your quick grocery store run requires a car, a bridge, some traffic, and a motivational speech to get you through it. Daily lives matter, right? And for the first time, this project actually treats downtown like a place people are supposed to live. We're not just visiting here anymore, guys, for an event or leaving immediately therefore after. Right nearby, you're also going to have Jewel at 21 West, adding modern residential units right in the urban core. Translation, more rooftops in the right places where it actually counts. Now we're talking about something that Jacksonville actually does well when they actually commit to it. The Barnett Bank building is a perfect example of that. We're talking about an iconic 18-story tower, right? This is history in the making. Now reimagined into 107 loft-style apartments. This old-school Jacksonville character meeting that modern downtown living. And for once, nobody ruined it. And then there's a project I personally want to see finished. Now, this is the Laurel Street Trio. 3 architectural significant buildings built in 1902 to 1912, sitting in a vacant lot long enough to have their own ghost stories and probably a podcast. The plan includes this: multifamily living, multifamily housing, a motel, a retail and commercial space, and a destination restaurant. This isn't just about adding units. This is about restoring the heartbeat of downtown. Add in projects like the Independent Life Building, and you start to see a pattern. Historic structures finally being turned into places people actually want to live. And I'm not just talking about buildings we point at and say, man, maybe one day. Now let's talk about smaller projects. These don't make flashy headlines. They don't have the dramatic press conferences, but they quietly change everything here in Jacksonville. Lofts at the Cathedral. We're talking about 120 units conversion. Listen, with a $5 million renovation of a former YMCA building from 1949, this is going to be spectacular. Lofts at the La Villa, lofts at Monroe, Houston Street Minor. Individually, guess what? Easy to look over. Collectively, this is how downtown stops feeling disconnected. Starts feeling like an actual neighborhood, not one big shiny thing surrounded by absolutely nothing, but a place that actually has that filled-in feel, so to speak. And that's the difference between we're working on downtown and downtown is actually working. Now let's cross over the river to the South Bank, because this is where momentum becomes visible. This side of downtown has quietly been doing the work. We're at RT, at the South Bank, which brings in 340 residential units. Online, real rooftops, real people inside of them. And then, of course, we have River's Edge from our last video. 3 stories, clean, modern design, direct views of the St. Johns River. This is what downtown adjacent living feels like, right on the riverfront. Living in Jacksonville, this is what it's supposed to feel like: natural, connected, normal. And when you step back, a pattern starts to form. Downtown Jacksonville isn't waiting for one miracle project. It's stacking large mixed unit anchors, historic buildings getting a second life, smaller infill housing, filling in gaps, river-oriented living for residents, bringing it all together. And this is how downtown grows: slowly, intentional, visible. And when momentum is built like this, the next move isn't loud, it's just bigger. All right, so right here, this is what used to be River City's brewing company. It has a great view, right? This is a Jacksonville staple, but the city is rethinking its riverfront, and the land here, it just could give more. And we're talking about Icon South is coming in. 400 residential units, 3 acres perfectly positioned between the Acosta Bridge, Friendship Fountain, and St. Johns River. This is going to be gorgeous, guys. This isn't a random placement. This is a deliberate move, right? We're talking about studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, even 3 bedroom units, because Jacksonville living isn't just limited to one season and to one life anymore. And the lifestyle matches the ambition. Riverfront restaurants. We're talking about outdoor gathering space, bars, even a speakeasy kind of tucked away on the river's edge. Inside, shared space that encourages people just to stay. Lounge. We're talking about fitness areas, small private theaters, pool decks, courtyards, fire pits, all the above. And on the 25th floor, they're going to do a sky lounge, a sky bar, river top, sun deck overlooking the St. Johns River. The projected date of this is going to be around 2028 to 2029, but I had to get ahead of it and tell people about it right now. This is the projects that connect people. They create the momentum, which is already going on in the South Bank, and you can clearly see this city isn't waiting to become something anymore. I told you guys, it's already in motion. So housing brings people, but they don't stay because units alone, they stay because of lifestyle. In Jacksonville, that lifestyle starts and ends at the river because Jacksonville isn't rebuilding downtown from the inside out. It's rebuilding it from the river inward. That's the big shift. And for decades, the St. Johns River was treated like just a backdrop, like a beautiful, iconic, and somewhat still underused. Basically, front row seats to the best view in the city that no one actually sat in. That era, completely over. Jacksonville's long-term downtown strategy is now anchored by 6 major riverfront parks. Each one of them play a different role, a different timeline, a different personality, but they do one thing really well. They bring people back to the water. All right, so let's talk about parks because this is where downtown Jacksonville kind of really begins to make sense. And we're gonna walk through each and every one that they're building right now. So first up is Metropolitan Park. This is 18 acres, waterfront park currently in its final concept and design phase. Now, they plan to make this park Gilly Geechee inspired tradition. Translation, this isn't just grass and benches. This is designed to be a true event and festival park. Now, let's think about this for a minute. We're talking about massive open green space, concerts and festivals, big community gatherings that actually feel communal. Construction is expected to roll out in phases with major portions targeted between 2026 and 2027. And this park isn't meant to pull people down here every now and then. It's designed to pull people down here consistently, not just for fireworks, the festivals, or that one big event that everyone posts about every year. Next up, Riverfront Plaza Park. This one is actually done, guys. Jacksonville officially opened the park December 5th, 2025. It's his birthday. Now, for adults, here's the boring part. We have the wide open lawns, the clean, uninterrupted river views, and then the walkable public space. Now, for these kids, and honestly, for the adults too, there's a rooftop playground. Kids can just climb boulders, slide down slides, run through rope tunnels, splash around in splash pads, and the pointy wooden tower things that look way cooler than when we were kids. We just had the slides that burn your legs. And I'm not gonna lie, as a adult, I wanna play in this park too. It almost feels illegal that downtown Jacksonville has a family-friendly activity area. Phase 2 of this park has already begun, and the plans include a beer garden. Adults, we're getting a beer garden. We're getting a rain garden and a bicycle and pedestrian connection to the Main Street Bridge. This park quietly changed the energy downtown, and most people don't even realize how important that is. Then you have Music Heritage Garden, located behind the Jacksonville Center of Performing Arts. This project is currently under development with phased construction and expected to end by the spring of 2026. And this one is different. It's designed to celebrate Jacksonville's deep musical roots throughout. It's a heritage garden, honoring local musicians and composers, a children's music play area, interactive art and sound elements. The walkways will be shaped like musical notes. This is completely different. There will be playable recordings tied directly to Jacksonville's musical history, and even a walk of fame dedicated to the local musicians. This isn't landscape. This is culture being built in the city. This is Jacksonville saying, yeah, we know exactly who we are. These parks aren't decorated, they're infrastructure. They give people a reason to be downtown. Before work, after work, honestly during work, just to decompress and ask yourself why Mary thought reheating fish in the microwave would be a good idea. They support the housing. They make retail possible. They turn the occasional visit into a daily life, and everything we've talked about so far. Housing growth, population targets, mixed use development, all of it traces back to this waterfront spine. Because in Jacksonville, the river isn't just a part of the view, it's the foundation of downtown's future. Now let's cross over to the South Bank once again, because this side of downtown is already kind of clocked in. We're talking about River's Edge Park, completely different role. This isn't like a future idea. This is not I'm coming soon, right? This is not a rendering, it's done. It's built, it's open, and it's actually being used right now. And here's the part that most people don't realize. River's Edge, it's not just one park, right? It's actually 4, kind of all stitched together. We're talking about Heartbeat Park, Central Park, the gym, the Healing Garden, which means you're not just getting like a patch of grass and a sign that says enjoy. You're getting like a full lifestyle setup. You talk about the playground, you're getting the fitness equipment, you're getting the misty water features for those Florida days that are way too hot. You're getting boardwalks along the river, big white swings everybody kind of secretly loves, and then of course benches everywhere, because sometimes you just need to sit and mind your own dang on business. There's also the wide flexible lawn space wrapped by walking track and also in the pavilion. Perfect spot for everything from morning walks to I accidentally stayed here way too long. And then there's the standout, right? A destination park called the Gym right here. And it's not just for children, guys. It's designed with fitness equipment for both adults, children, and a safe enclosure right here on the Riverwalk. So yes, you can work out. Yes, your kids can go burn off energy and nobody's running towards traffic. And because this is Jacksonville, there's also a yoga lawn. Of course there is, right? Because what River Edge really does is make downtown adjacent living feel normal, right? Not experimental, not we're testing something out, but actually lived in. This is the kind of infrastructure that quietly raises the quality of life without needing a press pass. All right, now let's talk about Shipyard West Park, because this is where the stadium district finally gets the personality. For years, the area has basically been football. Parking, dust, repeat. That changes right now. Shipyard West is sitting right next to the stadium, and this is the part of the Shipyard and Entertainment District with construction rolling out in phases between 2026 and 2028. And no, this isn't just another park. This entire design is built around 4 ideas: history, gathering, nature, and water access. Translation for you guys: you're not just passing through here, you're staying here. On the west side, the park leans into Jacksonville's history with the USS Orlick and the Fire Museum. So yes, you can hang out and accidentally kind of learn something. Right in the middle is the Green Heart. Now, it's a massive flex lawn designed for games, events, concerts, and those moments when people just don't want to leave. And then the East, AKA the fun part. Dining area, food halls, picnic spots, and even grilling out on the pier while staring at the river, pretending you don't have any responsibilities. Everything connects with a river walkway, with overlooks the beach area, and plans for a future boardwalk over the water. This park turns the stadium districts from 8 Sundays a year into everyday energy, not just for games, not just for events, but for life. And that's how Jacksonville stops being around the river and starts building with it. Listen, Jacksonville isn't betting on business first. The strategy is kind of clear here. First the parks, then the people, then the retail, then the density, right? That's how you build a downtown that actually works long term, not just the one that looks good in all of the renderings. These riverfront parks aren't just decoration out here. They're infrastructure. They support housing demand. They make retail viable. They turn occasional visits into daily life. And everything you've talked about, the housing, the population growth, the entertainment, the retail, it all traces back to this riverfront spine right here. Because Jacksonville, the river isn't just part of the view anymore. It's the foundation of all that downtown's future. Great spaces only work if you can actually get to them, because you can build housing, you can build parks, you can build up the entertainment. But if people can't move through the city easily, it's dead. All the potential just sits there looking good, doing nothing. So now we have to talk about what actually makes a whole city function, and that's infrastructure. The unsexy part of city growth, but the part that decides whether everything else works or not. And that brings us to the biggest updates, right, since our last video. And we're talking about the Emerald Trail. This is one of the most important long-term projects in Jacksonville. And yes, long-term is that key word. No overnight glow up, no instant gratification that you guys want so bad. The Emerald Trail is a planned 30-mile network of trails and green space designed to connect downtown Jacksonville to all the neighborhoods around it. And no, this isn't just for cyclists in matching outfits or runners training for something they signed up for that's deeply emotional. Now, this is daily movement. We're talking about walking, biking, even commuting, right? And clearing your head because traffic has already ruined your mood for the day. And here's the part that actually matters. There's no longer a someday project. As of 2024 and 2025, this has already been completed and the active segment has already been connected, connecting La Villa, Springfield, Eastside, and downtown. And more connections are actually on the way as the trail continues to build out in 2026, 2027, and beyond. It's designed to extend to Brooklyn, Riverside, San Marco, South Bank, Arlington, Murray Hill, and even parts of the north side. That's when this really levels up, because now we're not talking about trails, we're talking about option. Living in one neighborhood and working in another, hanging out somewhere and not having to drive everything. That's how Jacksonville stopped reacting to the growth. It starts planning how people move in this dense, full area when it finally arrives. And that's how cities quietly level up before most people even realize something even changed. Now let's talk about how Jacksonville plans to get around future futuristic style. Now, this new program, Neighborhood Autonomous Vehicle Innovation, NAVI, and before your brains go crazy talking about sci-fi like it's a movie, relax. This isn't the flying cars and nobody's taking away your keys, and no, Skynet is not involved. This is Jacksonville's actually testing out future mobility, not talking about it at a conference, but putting it in place. And we're talking about autonomous vehicles designed for short trips at a neighborhood level. Think about it like this. Getting from the parking garage to downtown spots, that was easy. Moving between entertainment areas, connecting residential zones without a full car trip. Basically, those annoying little distances that are too far to walk, but feels ridiculous to actually drive to. The pilot program is already underway, which expanded testing expected throughout 2026, especially around the downtown area and major activity centers. And no, this is not about replacing your vehicles. This is about bridging gaps, helping people get from where they park to maybe where they work or where they actually live. Or listen, I'd much rather take a trip like this than have to get in a car, and especially if I'm going out to play, without adding any more traffic to your life. Now, here's why that's important. Cities that plan transportation before density actually arrives, they scale the best. And Jacksonville isn't just reacting to growth anymore. It's experimenting with how people will move 5, 10, even 20 years from now. And that sends a clear message to businesses, developers, and even residents that this city isn't stuck in yesterday's layout. So when you see the skyline changing, it's not just buildings going up anymore. It's trails connecting, mobility evolving, and infrastructure finally catching up to the vision. Now let's talk about projects that don't just change downtown, they change how the entire city is perceived. These are Skyline projects, confidence boosters, right? These are the ones that finally make people stop saying Jacksonville could be something and start saying, okay, Jacksonville is actually doing this. And here's the important part. These aren't just vibes. These are projects that come with real timelines, which is when things get serious. Let's start at the shipyards. This is Jacksonville's next Class A office tower sitting right next to the river. Status check. Construction is underway. Delivery is currently targeted for 2026, and this matters way more than people think because office towers don't get built on hope. You know what they get built on? They don't move forward unless there's a real belief in this market. This is kind of signaling a couple of things. Long-term job growth in this area, real daytime population downtown, and economic commitments. Not just apartments, not just event space. This building anchors the shipyard as a true mixed unit district, not a one-off project hoping something else shows up later. Like, all right, now what? Now, let's zoom out just a little bit, because when we're talking about shipyards, the stadium area, we're not talking about one project. We're talking about multiple phases, district completely built out. Timeline reality, development rolling out in 2026 through 2030. It's intentional alignment with the stadium, hotels, housing, riverfront, all these parts matter. Entertainment districts don't just flip overnight. They layer like the activity. Then it's like foot traffic, events, and then of course density. Year after year until it's finally self-sustaining. This is not a microwave situation. This is a slow cook. This has been planned on purpose. Now let's talk about this one, because this one shifts the entire conversation. 4-season hotel and residency right here in Jacksonville, and they actually start putting them up for sale. Since our last video, listen, construction has been rolling, and the projected completion window is between 2026 and 2027. And these projects matter for 3 big reasons. One, luxury signal right here in Jax. 4-season does not show up accidentally. Second, investors' confidence. That instantly lowers perceived risk for developers watching Jacksonville from the outside. They're going to bring the money in. And third, downtown credibility. This moves Jacksonville into a completely different category when it comes to the city. Luxury, now that brings attention. Attention brings capital, and then capital brings momentum. And now, let's talk about the anchor that ties all this together. Now, this is no longer just about football, guys. The stadium has officially graduated. Look, the renovation plans and the surrounding district vision are all approved, with major construction phases rolling out between 2025, last year, and 2028. And the goal is simple, it's all integration. The stadium isn't just standing around anymore like, see you 8 Sundays out of this year. It's being woven directly into the entertainment district. We're talking about Riverfront Park, housing, hotels, all year-round events. Translation for you. This place is working 365 days, not just on game day. And when the stadium evolves like this, everything around it begins to accelerate. Now, zoom out. When you look at these projects together, the pattern is pretty clear. We have One Shipyards Place, 2026. Four Seasons, 2026 to 2027. The Entertainment District, 2026 through the end of the decade. Stadium evolution, mid to late 2020s. That overlap isn't on accident. Skyline projects aren't just about height, they're about belief stacking. And the first time in a long time, those bets aren't made based off of hope. They're made with real money. So listen, you've kind of seen the entire video, right? We've given you these projects to show you exactly what Jacksonville is doing. Believe me, I'm even excited about it. Walking around, I'm seeing some of this new stuff. I'm like, are we even in Jacksonville anymore? But if you're planning on moving to Jacksonville, Florida, do me a favor. Put our phone number somewhere in here. Give us a call, shoot us a text, shoot us an email. We would love to serve you. We're the guys that pick up the phone, answers the text, answers the emails. I do this in every video. I put 2 more videos right here. So if you're looking at where to eat, where to live, and where to play in Jacksonville, give us a call. Me and my team would love to serve you. But until next time, be great and choose excellence at everything you do.